Hello, welcome back to our trip to in Kansas here with a wind turbine blade. Can check it out a little bit here. If I find the right buttons, I should name them. There we go. There is the wind turbine blade. So this is me driving from Pueblo to I think it was Kansas City, talking about my trip across the U.S. with probably the last load in the US. Then I have to start doing this in Europe to be able to continue my talking about this. Talking about the trip in the US while driving through Europe. Oh well. We'll see. Well, I finished off when I just coming up into Grand Canyon Village. And the time was maybe 3 o'clock, something like that. And I thought, I'm gonna have to check into the hotel and rush over and I can watch the Grand Canyon. They have like this viewing points along outside there. So I do that, and the view was absolutely amazing. Stand there on the top and looking down in this huge ravine. So I'm doing that, and after a while I go back to the hotel, and of course I go eat, and I look around a little bit. They had like a museum, which in the hotel, that was kind of cool. No, it was not in the hotel, but there was a museum next to the hotel, like a visiting site for the Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon Visitor Center with a museum. And then after that, I continue. This is one of these hotels that I hadn't booked beforehand that I'm going to sleep in next. It was in a little town in New Mexico called Santa Rosa. Around halfway between Grand Canyon Village and Dallas. So I go there, and this is gonna be a 3-parter, you know? Probably. This is long. 10 hours. I will see. And it's light outside now, that's good. So started driving there. Nothing much happened on the road. So except was it here or was it? I think it was here when I stopped for gas, and I stop at this gas station, and I walk in to pay because normal. And this sits this a little bit middle-aged woman, maybe in her 50s, and I walk in, and she looks up at me and like, "Hello, darling." And I like look around like, did someone else come in? But she means me. She starts, and she has this attitude that she's like so energetic and calling like darling and honey and everything. Yeah, but like you call everybody this. Start talking, and she hears on my accent that I'm not from the US. She's asking me where I'm from, and I'm saying I'm from Sweden. She starts asking questions and start talking and talking and talking, and I get the feeling that she's actually quite lonely. There's not much happening here on this little gas station out in the middle of nowhere. So I tell her a little bit about my trip, and she thinks it's really cool. And I fill up the gas, and I say bye and leave. And then after a while, I get to this turn off for this little town. And this town is actually one town that's located on Route 66, because Route 66 is like along this other highway that I was driving. So I can say that I slept on a hotel on Route 66. Get your kicks on Route 66. Isn't that like the slogan for it? Oh, Why'd you stopping? Crazy oversized load car. You want me to crash into you? Oh well. Something have to happen. Oh, come on again, please. Do you have a problem with your gear shifter or something like that? And this hotel that I walk into, it feels a little bit run down, but I don't really care. It's like I'm gonna sleep here one night and I'm gonna leave in the morning. And they didn't have a restaurant, so they recommend that I go to another hotel a couple of blocks down to eat. And I go out and I start walking on the road, and apparently she sees me and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's pretty far. I'm like, what is how far? Oh, it's about maybe half a mile down the road. And I'm like, half a mile? That's nothing. Isn't that less? It's a quarter of a mile, I think. I'm like, what? I walk. I've been driving all day. I just walk. And she was like looking at me like, you're gonna walk? Why are you gonna walk? Americans are funny sometimes. Like, driving my car quarter of a mile or 400 meters. I'm like, why? So I just walk there and I walk in and I eat. And now I walk back to this place. And I sit down in a room, and they actually have Wi-Fi, and they have breakfast. It's like everything. These cheaper motels are sometimes much better than the more expensive hotels. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast. What more can you want? So I talk a little bit with my wife and daughter. They're in Colombia. All about trips I had. Of course, I talked to them when I was in other places as well. And then I go to bed, and early in the morning I start off again towards Dallas. And after a while, when I get into Texas, I have to turn off the big road because that goes up to Oklahoma. Maybe the one we're driving on now, but a little bit earlier. I don't know. So I drove and I go into the a state highway, and I keep driving on it. All of a sudden, I come into town. It's not like this. It goes through, past it or anything. No, it turns into the main street of the town. This big 4-lane road, which is not that weird, but you come from something that looks like a highway, and then all of a sudden it just houses along the way, and there's roads coming into it, it's like a street. And I got me a little bit nervous because they were just driving like absolute lunatics. And this happens a couple of times. And the reason I went to Dallas was it was on the way, and also that I was just looking around and I saw that if I had known what I found out when I got there, is that then I wouldn't have stayed in the place I stayed in Dallas. I would have stayed more central. But I went to a suburb called Plano because it said, I had checked that there was going to be karaoke in the place there in Plano. So I yeah, let's got a hotel pretty close to that place so I can get there. And then when I go there and I look, and it's cancelled. I'm like, okay, now I have 2 nights in a suburb in Dallas. And I checked where was the closest way to get into central Dallas. Okay, about 5 kilometers away there is a tram station. So I'm like, okay. But when I check into the hotel, and I see that there is like, they don't have a restaurant, or they have a restaurant, but it's just for breakfast, no normal one. Oh, okay, come on. Why do you keep doing that? Burlington. Is is it Burlington in Texas? I don't know. No, it's not. So I walk. So I asked her where like a closest store that I can buy something. She says that there is a convenience store by a gas station, and she shows me where. And she says, like, we're gonna drive here and here and here. I'm like, no, I want to walk. And she's like, you can't walk there. Like, what do you mean you can't walk? There's like a neighborhood. I can walk through it. Like, why do you want to walk? You have a car. Don't you have a car? I'm like, yeah, but I've been driving all day. I want to walk. I want to stretch my legs. Once again, I get that look like I'm totally crazy. But I get a map from her to show her. This was before we had these elaborate smartphones where you had everything. I did have a smartphone, but it was pretty basic. And I didn't have much of a internet plan either. You have to remember that this was in 2003. Or 2003 to 2004, so it was quite a long time ago. 20 years, 20 years ago, over 20 years ago. Oh, no, 10 years ago. 2013, 2014. 2003 was the first time I was in the US. This was just over 10 years ago. The technology has moved very fast forward. So I start walking. I'm walking through the neighborhood, and there are no sidewalks, just big hedges and houses in front of them. You can't even see the houses due to the like hedges and fences. And like it's almost like you're walking in a maze. And like, do people really enjoy living like this? I don't understand it. You have no contact with your neighbors. You have no contact with anything. It's like you live in your house, you go out to your car, you drive in your car, drive to work, and then you drive home. Oh, but why do you keep braking like that? Why? I am here. You don't have to brake. That guy, this oversized load car is... What the... He is complete... I don't know what he's doing. He's like braking all of a sudden without any warning. There's nothing in front of him. It's like, stop braking! I am here. You don't want me to? You're trying to like get an insurance scam or something like that? Want me to hit you so you get the insurance money? And I kept walking, and I got up, and I finally get out of this neighborhood, and I see the gas station, and it's on the other side of this massive road, like 6 lanes. And I start looking for where there is a crossing. I'm standing at a 4-way intersection, but there are no crossings at the intersection. Like, what? There's usually a crossing at intersections. And I look, and I see way off in the distance, completely in the opposite direction of where I want to go, there is a crossing. And I'm like, I'm not going there. That is almost like going back to the hotel. Felt like it, at least. And there is no sidewalk to get to that crossing anyway. So I just look, and very carefully looking at you keep braking, I hate you. Keep looking at the we're gonna finish this episode very soon, just after this little story. And since it's pretty late, like it's after rush hour, so there's not that many cars, so I just ran over the road and into the store. And apparently the woman who worked in the convenience store that had seen me. And when I get in, and she's like, why did you leave your car? Or someone. I was like, oh, it's right back at the hotel where I'm staying. which hotel are you staying at? Ah, it's that one. And you walked here? Yes. Why? And I told her once again that I've been driving all day and I wanted to take a walk to stretch the legs. And she said, I wish that I could walk to work. And she said that she lived just on the other side of the highway, a bit further down. But for her to take the car, which she said that she really couldn't afford to have, because the pay was really bad. This is horrible. She should be able to be paid a living wage. But I'm not going to go into that now. And she said she lives about 3 kilometers away, which is not that far. But if she's gonna walk, it would probably be close to 20 kilometers for her if she's gonna walk, because there is no way to get past that highway walking anywhere. Which was horrible. So she lived so close but yet so far away. So she had to have a car by living 3 kilometers away from where she worked in order to get there, which is absolutely silly. Yeah, and due to everything I've been through this whole trip, I was really getting approaching mandatory stop. Follow the escort to the parking spot. Oh, that's perfect. That we can stop the episode here then. Perfect. So I'll just stay in the hotel and relax. I have no inclination of walking over to the tram stop, which I realized that I actually couldn't walk over to. I had to take the car, park the car, and then take the tram into central Dallas, and I felt like, no, I don't want to do that. So I just was in the motel these days and just relaxed, taking it easy. All right, we are coming apparently into this mandatory stop here. That's the first time ever I had this thing on a trip like this. What's the following key to rest and refuel? Okay, we're gonna end this episode here, and it'll be a continuation in the next one. So I hope you wanna continue watching this 3 or 4, maybe 4 parts episode. It's a really long way. So until then, have a nice day and hope to see you next time.